Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Is my audio fucked? Hello everybody, welcome back to the weekly Steelchair. Hope everyone is doing well. This is of course, your Tuesday edition of the Steelchair, where we do review Monday Night Rancid. I think that's what we're going to call it from now on. Monday Night Rancid. But again, we have fun reviewing this shit. So, hello to everybody. Hope you're all doing very well. There is no more of the 4-letter word that ruins professional wrestling. For now, hopefully. We certainly have a lot to bring tonight, and you guys as well. Like, this is not just going to be a Raw review. We're gonna do multiple things tonight. So we're gonna have the Raw review. We're gonna then do a little question and answers like we used to do. We're going to bring that back at the end of the show. And we're going to have one random match from our from our watch along list. And we're going to do a watch along at the very end. So, how is everybody in the chat? The likes of Zodiac, Maria, and Billy. What's happening? What's happening? You're getting it all tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting it all tonight. And, ooh, yeah. I say it all the time. Because the Macho Man's going to hear a review of this Raw. Actually, I'm not going to carry on that voice. It'll probably ruin my throat. I don't know how you can do that voice every day. For like 40, 50 years of your fucking adult life. I always tell the truth. The truth shall set you free. Snap in a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I might do the odd Macho Man impression going forward. Because to be fair, Macho Man's cool. And God his soul be in eternal peace. 14 years since he passed away as well. Which is crazy. So damn crazy. As you can see, we are, of course, still sponsored by the greatest of them all. We've got a Pepsi Max cherry can, we've got 2 Pepsi Max cherry bottles, and we've got the good old-fashioned Pepsi Max. So there's plenty of liquid to keep us going whilst we review Monday Night Raw. But before we get into that, couple of things. One, maybe a little bit of news. We can go through, see what we can find. 2, R-Truth has basically exposed Triple H, so that's a win for the good guys. And 3, it's still not as good as it should be. Buenos dias, amigo. ¿Cómo está? I can pull a few things out of the bag. But what did you all think of Monday Night Raw? Again, anything you want to talk about that's not WWE related, we'll do it later. There you go. Pepsi Max Cherry Plunge. Not a bad idea, actually. It'd probably cause a lot of damage. What you're going to see is a lot to do with it. I want Truth, the unique black character. What you're going to see is this version. You're going to see this kind of Truth. I'm telling you now. But your unique bollocks, all that stuff. You're basically getting this, except 20 years later. You're getting basically Ron Killings from when he left WWE and went to TNA. Which was obviously the best period of his entire career. When he got to be not a black man, not a white man, not a man, he got to be the truth. This was a representation of just what it was great to be, where it didn't matter who you are or where you came from, you were valued, and that's what it's going to be. I don't necessarily think they're going backwards with him, but I'm not sure if they're going forward either. I'm not sure realistically if it's a wild option to put the world title on that. We're going to come to that later on in the show, obviously, but we'll see what we can do. The fact that his title reign was 51 days is 51 days too long. We're going to talk about CM Punk's promo, and the realization of CM Hypocrite is officially dawned on the world. So that's going to be a fun conversation. We'll talk about Sami Zayn and his self-riddled delusions. See if I can find any news. Hold on. Not you, because nobody gives a shit about you. We'll speak about you. We're definitely going to speak about you. That's for sure. Talk about that even though I'm not going to be watching. What other news have we got? Let me just see. That quote we're going to comment on. You want to see something that stands out? He's just a thug? Wait till you see this. The truth character is gone. This is about Ron Killings using reality to try and make a stand. You got this last night after before he obviously gave himself the chop. We're going to talk on that segment tonight, don't worry. Have we got any other fucking news? Yeah, there is news obviously about Jade Cargill. She's expected to get a big push heading into Evolution 2 because it's in Atlanta. That obviously she's from there. Shotzi Blackheart, we're going to quickly talk on her. But in terms of other news, not really. I mean, there's one thing here saying one talent states that Triple H knows that lying to or working in the locker room is horrible with regards to the R-Truth situation. A number of talent outright claimed the opposite of Triple H is all part of the show comments on R-Truth situation. That's a bullshit take. This is not a negative. Former TNA champion Ron Killings is the best version. Don't want to hear complain about giving backwards. That's trash. I don't think it's harsh from Smooth to say he's going backwards. But maybe to say he's not going forwards either. We don't know where he's going. But 2002, 2008 is the best version of Ron Killings, and nothing will ever change that. Shit's lame. I don't like this shoot style show. I don't need another Russo inspired show. Funny you should mention that. Kayfabe died years ago, buddy. There's no point even saying violating kayfabe. Kayfabe died in 1996. And then kayfabe got its absolute real death. Well, its final nail in the coffin in 20... Ooh. Yeah, 2020. Yep, he was over. That is very true. The interesting thing, though, and this is something that actually stands out as one quote, is just how long it's actually going to last. That's actually a very poignant statement. So, obviously, I said I'm not going to cover the King and Queen of the Ring, but obviously, Asuka is confirmed to return. She's in the same match next week as Stephanie Vacour. So, it's going to be interesting to see who they choose to put over. The brackets. Again, I'm not going to be covering the crap, so I'm just going to get the brackets over and done with quickly. The SmackDown side is Orton, Knight, Black, Hayes, Rhodes, Priest, Andrade, Nakamura. From Raw, it's mystery opponents, so it's not going to be anyone significant. Bronson Reed, Rusev, Sheamus, Sami Zayn, Penta, Breaker, Mysterio. They're all going to be fatal 4-way matches. And you're going to have a Raw and SmackDown, obviously, championship match. King of the Ring. I think it's going to be Dragunov, anyway. On the SmackDown side, so for the women, you've got Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, and Candice LeRae in one of the matches. Again, why? Why would you have Chelsea Green in a match with 3 scrubs? You got Jade Cargill, Meechin, Niven, and Jax. Then on the Raw side, you got Ivy Nile. You've got Chuck Rodriguez. You've got Stephanie Vacour and Asuka all in the same match. And then the last one, obviously, which we're going to talk about, was Ripley, Kairi Sane, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez. So there's 4 of them. We're obviously going to touch on that as well tonight as well, so don't you worry about it. We have to talk about that stupid return as well. That meant absolutely fuck all, like her entire career. We're going to talk about that. Sami Zayn, we're going to talk about again that this guy just can't keep his mouth shut. Amongst other things too. Kayfabe was being broken by outside stuff. During the shows, he usually kept it alive. It's all gone. It's all gone. It's all dead. I would say he's more over in the last 15 years, but he was more over in TNA than anywhere else. Because that's where it all started, and look at what he did. Oh, he's going to make him his bitch. They let him have that one line. They let him have that one line about your voice was heard. And all that nonsense. Your voice was heard. There you go, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to shut it straight back down. Sadly, that's what they're going to do with him. He's still going to end up feuding with Cena, and it's not entirely worth it. It's really, really not worth it. But I guess that's where we stand on that, I suppose. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. To be honest, I'm not sure what they're gonna. Overall, in general, I'm not sure what they're gonna do with him. We'll find out eventually, I suppose, but I'm not sure. James, good to see you. Welcome in. It's strange though, isn't it? Like, it's the path he's taken is strange. Is it gonna last? I don't know. I feel, and the worst thing is now, and this is just the. It just feels like that's going to be a hijack chant now. I don't know if that's actually beneficial at all. No, that's true. That is true. He went from a main eventer to somebody who is just a joke to then all of a sudden he just makes himself. Some of his comedy was not in the sense of outlandish that you don't want it, but some of it just didn't feel natural. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think all of his comedy was bad. There was some stuff that was genuinely funny. That you could be like, yeah, I quite like that. Like, there's some things I do remotely find funny. And there's some things where I'm like, that just seems a bit stretch. It just seems a bit of a stretch too far. That doesn't work. I'm not sure. Hey, Abel, how are you? To be fair, not everybody thought that Funny was a jobber, to be fair. Not everyone. Not in the sense of it, like, there were some gimmicks that absolutely. Like, there are definitely some comedic gimmicks that you automatically think, yeah, jobber. And then there's some where you think, okay, they're just being funny. But they're not jobbers. I'm not too bad, thanks. I'm glad you're good, my friend. I'm glad you're good. His acting was or sometimes. I think the problem with Truth, and this is a sad reality for me, when they put him with Carmella, that to me was like, that's just it. I think that for me was the worst part, you know? There were some instances where you could think he was maybe reading that from a script, but then there's some where you can just go, you know what, that's authentic and it does kind of fit. Like, I think purely, like, I don't think all the Judgment Day stuff was good. But I thought his, like, I thought, like, some of the stuff he did in, like, the early 2010s was funny, apart from that American independence thing that he did in Washington. That was just, I did not understand that at all. But there's a lot of things there where I really did quite enjoy. I just don't understand the vast majority of it. That's an interesting take, Smooth. That's an interesting take, and I'm actually glad you brought that up. The thing is, right? So, Fernando, I don't think they're going to have him drop the title and do it back. And the reason why is because I think at that point, I think if you do that, and this might be just me, I don't know if maybe I'm being a bit too harsh here because it's our truth. Well, Ron Killings. I think if you have Cena lose the title to Killings and then win it back, it defeats the purpose of him being the last champion, because then he has to go and get it back to be the last champion again. B, Ron Killings should have won the title in 2011. Well, 2010, 2011 for capital punishment. 2011. He should have won it then. They chose not to do it. Instead, they just kept making it a mockery of him when he was actually very much over at the time. And then C, it actually takes away his notion. So I think there's so many things that it doesn't work. I like the idea though, but I don't think it's going to happen. Good for title win and Ron Killings saying made me smile. Okay. Jay's the next Speed champion. Too bad he's not on the unemployed list. Santino is an amateur wrestler and a martial artist. In fact, I'll tell you exactly what everything that he can do right now. Yeah, there you go. The Battle Arts Academy, which is what he runs in Mississauga, Ontario, is judo, amateur wrestling, all of that. That's what he does. Like, the guy's a serious grappler. Naturally funny. It's in his hometown as well. That's what I love about it. I love the fact he does it in his hometown, but he's naturally funny. He's charismatic. And he gets it. I completely forgot that the day he won the Intercontinental title was 4 days after my 10th birthday. I forgot it was that close to my birthday. But yeah, martial arts and professional wrestling that he does, so it's both. It's just a lot for him though that doesn't really make in. It's not always funny means jobber. I think necessarily it's not funny means jobber. It's looks funny means jobber. Like Dwayne Gill, for example, Brooklyn Brawler. You look at them, instantly you think jobber. The Goon, for example. Horrible gimmick, horrible choice of name. He was a jobber. You look at him. The Blue Meanie. Yep, you look at him, instant jobber. Not because they're funny, it's just how they look. If it hadn't been for being able to cut a crazy promo, this might sound very harsh, what I'm about to say. If it hadn't been for a crazy promo, the Road Dogg, you look at him, would have been a jobber. That's a sad reality. I wouldn't say 80%, but I agree it's high. I would say it's about 60-65%. Because they could always sway it around. Look at The Miz. Now, unfortunately, he got past his ceiling, but he was comedic. Nick Nemeth, I've said it time and time again, one of the best wrestlers in the world, for me, one of the best sellers of all time. He was a comedic gimmick when he started in pro wrestling. Look at his first gimmick. He was part of the worst cheerleading squad since the final season of Misfits with zombie cheerleaders. Which is an unfortunate reality, but that's how it is. Fine, I'll go a little bit higher. I'll say 70%, no higher. That's it. I'll say 70%. Hugh Morris, he just looked like a pig, talked like a pig, acted like a pig. But he was a jobber. Horace Hogan is another one. Tozawa can go, but here's the thing. Tozawa... I got bored of Tozawa years ago. Like, not because he can go in the ring. I got bored of him because I just didn't like what they were trying to fit him in, and it doesn't work. I'll haggle percentages whether you like it or not. Abel's putting his foot down. I mean, yeah, they can put in a serious character. While being a comedic character, you usually... No, you're spot on. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I think you're completely spot on. But that is a range of things that really settle a lot. Steiner Math was purely comedic. That was not meant to work. That promo was meant to be one time forgotten. Which says a lot. You know who else was a comedic gimmick but managed to change it? DDP. Kevin Nash. Brian Kendrick. Yep, to many he will always be Spanky. Look at, even though he's shit for TNA's creative department, look at Tommy Dreamer. WWE literally made him when he came in. You're going to be the guy who just does disgusting things. I still remember that Undertaker segment when he made him drink the tobacco juice. It was disgusting, but for him, it summed it up. That's what they did to him. Horrible shit. Yeah, that was so bad. What do you think? Bryan's story being repeated under Sami Zayn? Don't like it. Because Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan, whichever context you want to use him in, more naturally gifted, more naturally over, more believable. Sami Zayn isn't anymore. And I look at it like this. When he was on the indie scene, Bryan Danielson was built as the overwhelming favourite, no matter who he went up against. In WWE, he was the perennial underdog that can still outwork you, can still make the crowd laugh, get the crowd on his side. Sami Zayn, his highest ceiling was doing conspiracy videos to being a bona fide yeet merchant with the Prince of Crap himself. So I think there's so many things wrong with it that doesn't work. Kanyon, yeah, that was wrong. The sad thing about it as well, and this is something I've seen many people say this before when it comes to Kanyon, it was the times, it was more acceptable. And it sounds harsh to say, but I actually understand that argument. But what they did to him was wild as fuck. I never particularly liked it. I didn't like what they did on that segment on SmackDown 2003. But that's unfortunately where you put certain people. And everyone sadly has a role to play. But Kanyon had something. Kanyon was one of the most over talents in the dying days of WCW. I mean, who better than Kanyon? Hardly fucking anybody between 2000 and 2002, I might fucking add. Hardly anybody was better than Kanyon. Don't believe me? Go back and watch how good he was. Even when he was under a mask, he was fucking amazing in a mask. He had one of the coolest mask setups I've ever seen. And like they did to Psycho Sid, which is, again, not saying they took him out of a mask, but like they did to Psycho Sid, they bitch Psycho Sid, they bitch Canyon. And like they did to Juventud Guerrera, like they did to Psychosis, and like they did to Rey Mysterio, they disgraced the enjoyment of a masked wrestler. Mr. Iguana is just a different kettle of fish. The thing is, and this is what I stand on, it's good to have comedy, provided the comedy works. I think that's something we all agree on. That's why I love Kurt Angle's comedic shit in TNA, like 2007, 2008. So fucking hilarious. Like his, that segment for, like, when he had the, after Thanksgiving, when he beat up Santa Claus in front of a kid. That was fucking funny. Canyon doing stunt work for Ready to Rumble, yeah, that's true. The innovator of offense. Definitely not the innovator of violence, that's for sure. Is that after second breakfast? Potatoes. Yeah, I agree, not everyone can pull off gimmick-based wrestlers, period. And that's because nobody's got the ambition. It's hard to pull off a gimmick. Kurt Angle comedy in WWE was special. But I think the TNA stuff is better. That's not pure bias, it's just I stand firm on it. I just think it was better overall. Yes, it needs a natural flow. It needs a start, middle, end, without shaky shit in between. Like a Jey Uso title reign. That was shit in between. I had to get that one in there. I had to get that one in there. He's not even fully comedic. I think what Kurt is, right? I think you're right. I think Jericho is. I don't think Kurt's overall comedic. I think Kurt just had a more exuberant personality. Whereas Jericho really was comedic. Even when he was serious, he was still being comedic. But then you could also say The Rock. The Rock was heavily comedic during his best period. There's so many. When Mick Foley was Dude Love, that was comedic. Wild shit as well. Like, did you ever envision, Mick Foley doing a Dude Love gimmick is obviously based off Shawn Michaels, but did you ever envision Mick Foley doing that? It was absolutely funny. Stone Cold was low-key funny. Yeah, just ask Tajiri. Stephanie McMahon, Karen, Trash, they all just wanted to see Kurt's gold medals. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like 2000, 2001, he was just unbelievable. Yeah, I think Kurt's the best transition ever from a straight up shoot style. And Ken Shamrock and Daniel Puder are joint worst. Which is sad to say about Ken Shamrock, but it's still true. That sexy Kurt is fucking hilarious. You know what, just for everybody. I make your ankle hurt. Honestly, I just loved the words. It was top tier. Yeah, I think everyone's good. Who tried to make Steve Blackman laugh? Al Snow, wasn't it? I remember their tag team. Al Snow and fucking Steve Blackman was like the funniest tag team of '99 into 2000. But for everybody, this is just for you.
I think I'm cute. I got no medals. I got the moves that makes them all tap out the angle slam, the ankle lock, Marty Jannetty. Still can't walk. I'm just a sexy curve. Sexy curve. I'll make your ankle hurt. Ankle hurt. I'm just a sexy curve. Dreadful.
I just love the fact that William Regal reacted to this and he went, dreadful. Not even like a full-blown analysis from William Regal, just dreadful. That will always be the best comedic SmackDown segment for me. I don't think there's a segment better than that on SmackDown in terms of pure comedy. It was fucking genius, and I love that he brought back Sherry Martel to do it. There's no one better than that, than Sensational Sherry. Rest in peace to the greatest female manager of all time. Rubbish. They gave poor Al Snow Death Revel music before it even existed. That is true. But to be fair though, are you ever going to get away from this theme song? Not that one. Not that one. Where is it?
What does everybody want? What does everybody want? What does everybody need? What does everybody love?
Although, to be fair, there's horrible theme songs. Remember this one? To be fair, he's a shitty human being. He was a shitty human being. But he can fucking go in the ring. I will grant him that. To be fair, there's theme songs, there's great theme songs, and then there's, for me, this masterpiece. Yeah, he is. 100% Maria, he is. There's great theme songs, and then there's... Not that, it's an advert. Shite. Fuck Fortnite. See if you recognise this. Tell me if you recognise this. You're welcome. I love Rick Rude's theme song. I love Rick Rude as well as a wrestler. He's incredible. I love this version of this theme song. This for me is the best version. Sorry for everyone that fucking hates Reign of Terrors. And there's the swearing that they cut out as well. That's part of the theme song they don't want you to remember. Great days. Great days. I fucking loved My World. It was like the old version of My World is great. I don't mind the current version, but when it originally started, it was fucking incredible. Is it the Insane Clown Posse? Oh, ICP, man. What a memory. What's up, Glenn, you big late bastard? I'm only kidding. How you doing, buddy? Here's a question, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to throw it out there to all of you. If you can pick one theme song used in wrestling, or TNA had at least 12 bangers. At least 12. If you could have... Jesus Christ, Abel, no chance am I playing that. I'll have fucking flashbacks of that Dark Side of the Ring episode. If you think of, like, what is your Mount Rushmore of wrestling theme songs, and number one is your greatest, so this is actually in order. What is your top 4 wrestling theme songs used by a talent? That can include real music, not just Jim Johnson machinations or Dale Oliver who done the TNA theme songs. I already have my Mount Rushmore. Like, I've got mine already. But I'd love to see what you guys have as your Mount Rushmores. Let me hear you. Nice. Dark Side's a great one. Alright, so Glass Shatters. He says punk without being distinctive. Cult of Personality. This Fire Burns. Sean, nice, okay. Road Warriors, not bad. Let's see, Stone Cold. Warrior, perfect. Macho Man, I like it. Judas, to be fair, is a great song. Like, it is actually a very, very good song. And it does stand out, so fair play. Mine goes Bret Hart's Heart Attack version 2, which is the one that I played. Undertaker's Dark Side version 2, which came after the fully loaded version. The one came after that was, for me, better. Stone Cold's theme song. And Metalingus for Edge Adam Copeland. And then just outside that, I've got Slow Chemical. Kurt Angle's theme song, to be fair, from TNA is a really hard one to put around, so that for me, that's on my TNA Mount Rushmore, but my overall Mount Rushmore, it's those 4 songs I've just said. Stone Cold, Undertaker, Hitman, and Edge. Not bad, not bad. To be fair, even another great one, which stands out and it's true, Seek and Destroy was incredible. I hate the person, but I love the song. Hollywood Hogan's Voodoo Child from Jimi Hendrix. Brilliant song. Voodoo Child is one of my favourites. Roddy Piper, Too Sweet, Macho Man, NWO Man theme, not bad. So Macho Man's NWO version of his theme song, Hollywood Hulk, yeah, see, Voodoo Child. Voodoo Child is up there. Like, it's unbelievably good. It's a great song as well. I listen to it pretty much every day. Hate Hulk Hogan. Love Voodoo Child. It's a great song. Seek and Destroy is great. I like the original Crow theme song. Ted DiBiase's theme song's underrated. Undertaker's Graveyard Symphony that he used before Darkseid is a great song as well. Like this one. Like, I think this is one of the best Undertaker theme songs. I'll wait for this advert to finish. I Walk Alone's a good one too.
The only thing.
Oh, fuck off, you ad prick. No one cares about Fridge. This for me is... There's only two... Well, in terms of when he was not the American Badass or Big Evil, this and Darkseid are the only theme songs I like for the Dead Man gimmick. And they should have went back to this. Shamrocks is, yeah. Oh yes, Slay Me was great. Honky Tonk Man, now you're just going too far. I think we can all agree, this theme song, however, changed business. This really stood out. Thank you, Dale Oliver. Shattered Dreams is fucking brilliant. Wonder if any of you guys remember. Tell me the first word that stands out to you guys. 100%. Those are some good shouts as well, Smooth. I really like those shouts. I like Battle Cry as well. Battle Cry is a great theme song. But tell me what you think of this theme song. The first word that comes to mind when you hear this. I might be able to play it, but I want you to tell me what you think of this first. It can be one word, several words, but what comes to mind first when you hear this?
Booking.com has all...
Nobody cares about Miss Piggy. Trust me when I say this, you guys are going to fucking love this one. It is Gangrel and the Brood. Funny you should mention that, James. Tell you what I do miss. Sadly, I want to show the worst part of wrestling music. That for me is his best theme song. That's probably got a lot of practice. It's that entrance that inspired Kurt Angle to do Through the Ring as well, like through the stage. This for me is one of the worst theme songs of all time. And I will always stand by it. Whenever I heard this theme song, I feel instant rage. And I'm serious, instant rage. So I'm gonna try and hold it in. Fuck you, Hogan. Hate that theme song. Why did that have to exist? Why? It's almost like we're designed to die. I know. I'm trying to prove what is the worst theme song of all time. Hate that song. But it's even worse. Nah, fuck off. It's horrible. I just fucking hate it, alright? It's just natural. Let me hate on it, alright? Let me fucking hate that song. This was an underrated song. The thing is though, this one's a hard one to decide. Where does this one rank in your opinion, guys? For me, I think it might be his best theme song. But it depends if you go by one other one. Flight of the Valkyries, that's a great one. Fucking hell, Glenn. Tell me where you rank this one, guys. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, you absolute buns. Hold on. This video is a misleading video. No, it was meant to be something else. It was meant to be this.
You can feel it
Fuck
in the
off
air.
with these ads. I'll put Omen the Sky on next. For a short period. Oh, fuck off, Billy. That's just criminal. Out of the fire. That's a great song as well. That's a great song. What's criminal is your shirt wearing teams telling all the best players. Not always, not always. On music, what are your favourite Raw and SmackDown themes? Question goes... Ooh. Burned is incredible. That's quite a take. I love that. That's a good take. I think Burned and Out of the Fire and Slow Chemical are better than 80% of the Undertaker's theme songs. But Graveyard Symphony, Dark Side, and Rollin' and You're Gonna Pay, they, for me, are better. But they are great. The rest of them, 100%, they smack them about. I say 80%, but I've pretty much just labelled all of them, but there's some in between. I think the good thing is, though, is at least Taker went out and got that Johnny Cash song for 2011. Why they went away from that so quickly, I will never know. That was a great song. You did not just compare me to China. Jesus. Oh, fucking hell. Funny you should mention that, Zodiac. Fuck off, Fortnite. You're a dead franchise. That's absolutely criminal from Glenn. That is criminal from Glenn, but that's a 10 out of 10, to be fair, for brilliance. I can never not say that's a horrible use. That's great literature. Yep, that's Dark Side. This for me was the fucking scariest theme song in 1998. And he only had this theme song for 4 months, and then he abandoned it for Graveyard Symphony until he brought in the Ministry version. That for me is his best theme song of all time. The Nakamura one I'll bring up in a second, but first things first, I owe someone a song. Because to be fair, I love this tag team. How the fuck WWE fumbled this tag team, I will never know. Especially one of the tag team members, how can you fumble him? I love this, we're an hour in and we haven't even started reviewing Raw yet. I fucking love you guys. It's the theme song for Gallows and Anderson. It's a great song. It's a great song. I don't know why they changed it. But then, I bloody hate that WWE changed this. This is another one that they stupidly did. This is one they should never have changed, and I will die on this hill. If you change this theme song, you're an absolute clown. So whoever authorised this, I hope you burn. No, Nolan's forgot that. That was great. Swerves is incredible. This is the last song, then we have to really start reviewing Raw. I've always wanted to learn the violin just to play this song. Lee England Jr. Genius. To be fair, I didn't mind when Rick Boogs did it on the electric guitar. That was cool. There's actually a YouTube short of someone here playing this with bagpipes. Not kidding. It's got 57,000 views. They should never have changed this. Assholes. His WrestleMania one is great. This is a WWE music channel. It's got 1.66 million subscribers, and this video alone, over 8 years, has 5.9 million views. That's cataclysmic crazy shit. 1.66 million subscribers and it's 5.9 million views. 4.24 million people are like, nah, we don't want to fucking subscribe, mate. The new Samurai version's good, but you just can't top the best version. It just stands out spectacularly. Right. Alright, last one. This is the last one, then after that we really need to carry on. Well, start I should say. None. Not yet. We've got work to do. This TNA version, I hated his NXT one. Shut up, you bitch. Get off my screen. Hopefully not. It's only short spells, to be fair, so it's nothing dangerous. If I played them on screen, I'd get absolutely screwed. And if so, I can get around that. Anyway. Because I can easily just go back in and just edit this video the minute it's finished, so. But we're still live anyway, so nothing's changing. Right, anyway, let's actually get into business. So. Tell copyright to suck my balls. Jesus Christ. We certainly have a lot to get through, so let's make it happen. Ugh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. What are your preliminary thoughts on... What are your preliminary thoughts on Raw in general? What did you all think about Raw in general? And also, where do you think Raw was at? If you thought there was, what did you think was the strongest part of Raw? Which part do you think was his weakest? Which part do you thought you would absolutely burn this segment to the ground? I want to hear all of it tonight. Because we need to try and not just make these reviews fun. I mean, all the reviews are fun because you guys are awesome. But we need to... We need to try and find ways to save this terrible creative. Because again, we know the creative is atrocious. I have a theory as well, James, and my theory goes like this. Seth Rollins is not winning the world title, he's winning the WWE title. I think Gunther is world heavyweight champion to go to SmackDown. Below average, okay. Boring, but they did have some surprise, like Truth cutting his hair and Jay losing his title. That's fair to say as well. The highlights, don't worry, we're gonna talk about her as well. Don't you worry. We're absolutely gonna talk about that thing. I think he brings the WWE title to Raw. And then that's it. The titles will not trade places again. I think that'll be them. Frankly, the SmackDown should be the World Championship show anyway. So, our weekly episodic pish on a Monday night begins with the WWE Undisputed Bald Spot Champion comes out to his everyday remedy, black lighting, white lettering, multicolored talentless ability, and the receding hairline travelling faster than his legs. It is of course John Cena who comes to the ring, calls the fans fickle. He's basically insulting the fans again, saying that they think their voice matters, their voice doesn't make a difference. He calls them spineless keyboard warriors. I mean, so are you, mate, but you haven't figured that out yet. But his tone was different. It was desperation from him. He was more... If he's all about ruining wrestling, then his tone actually... His tone makes sense. Now, I don't think his promo's great. I think this promo is genuinely ridiculous. But I think the only thing that's right about this entire segment is his tone of voice. Because he is trying to advocate, in a way, your voice doesn't matter. So by saying that, he's got to come across as desperate. He's got to come across as lack of feel. A lack of confidence in himself. So he has to come across desperate to try and get people off their back. And it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And then the whole class clown thing... Again, that is true. To be fair, like, in the nicest way possible, R-Truth is the class clown. Or Ron Killings now, I should say, is the class clown. But it's an element of poorer take on Truth than anything else, really. And it's not... It doesn't stand out. He says he wants the best competition. Q cult personality. Here comes CM Punk, who's looking a little bit bloated. I reckon he should get a TLC yogurt. Yes, he was far more creative because he actually got to be himself. He comes in, he just cuts the same shitty promo. It's good to be here on a Monday night and kiss up to the crowd. Sound familiar, everybody? Yeah, it was going to happen. But speaking of it's going to happen, so Punk drops a lot of he drops a lot of words. Says to Cena, I hope you're comfortable because I've got a lot to get off my chest. That he's not here to defend. Yep, there you go. 100%. Punk says he's not here to defend the established order. He is here to defend the people. And he has to become a monster to stop the monster. Because the title corrupts. I don't know about you guys, but I instantly felt cringe when I listened to this promo. I was getting cringe. I have to stop the monster. I must become a monster. Alright, CM Skunk. Now here's another thing as well. He got cooked for this. When WWE first started going to Saudi Arabia, what did he tweet? To beat Joseph Fritzl, I must become Josef Fritzl. Correct. Blood money. Exactly. And now, what's up, Fletch? You're actually at the very start of us reviewing Raw, my friends, so you've actually missed just fun and games for an hour and a quarter. He is anti-Saudi Arabia, but the funny thing is, he's so anti-Saudi Arabia that he's now going to Saudi to main event the show. Funny that, eh? It's a manic world. But if you have beliefs about something out there that you are against, doesn't matter how much money you get given, you don't do it. What's up, David? TKO is taking WWE down the drain. I think what the bigger picture is, David, is TKO and WWE are taking them all themselves down the drain. How life works, Huff Phil. Apparently blood money ain't that bad now. No, that big check. Exactly. Big check. Big waiver. High punkcracy. Love it. Hypocrisy. Here's the thing. At least I say I'm not going to cover Night of Champions. I'm a bigger man than CM Punk. Both physically and obviously mentally, but also the fact that if I say I'm not going to do that, I'm not doing that. Now we get a back and forth between Bitch Boy and Fruity Pebble. And then out comes Money in the Rollins. Stands there with Braun Breaker and the rest of the Rudy Poo crew, holding up his Money in the Bank, laughing away. Paul Heyman looks like he's had a box of Twinkies. Bronson Reed looks like he's eaten 12 cows. And Braun Breaker looks like he's had a couple of steaks. Yeah, fair. Here's the thing. I don't think he does. I think the reality is there's one belt he's going for, and he's so far away from it right now. That's why it stands out. When he does it, though, is the bigger question. But I think he's going for the undisputed title. Quickly. The SmackDown side is Orton, Knight, Black, Hayes, Rhodes, Priest, Andrade, Nakamura. From Raw, it's mystery opponents, so it's not going to be anyone significant. Amongst other things too. Kayfabe was being broken by outside stuff. Rodriguez. On the SmackDown side, so for the women, you've got Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, and Candice LeRae in one of the matches. Again, why? Why would you have Chelsea Green in a match with 3 scrubs? You got Jade Cargill, Meechin, Niven, and Jax. Then on the Raw side, you got Ivy Nile. You've got Chuck Rodriguez. You've got Stephanie Vaquer and Asuka all in the same match. And then the we definitely covered Asuka, don't you worry. But it's good that she is back. I think the final spot, I think it's Ilya Dragunov. I think it's Ilya Dragunov. I think Ilya Dragunov gets the title shot at SummerSlam. I think it's going to be a Raw King of the Ring winner and a SmackDown Queen of the Ring. I'm hoping so anyway, because the only rightful winner is Chelsea Green. Oh dear God. I don't trust it to be good on the main roster, by the way. We get our first match of the evening. And I think I can safely say it may have went on too long. So AJ Styles versus Chad Gable is your first in-ring action of the evening. Not El Grande Americano, because again Chad Gable left the mask in his locker room. But this is quite the contest. I think they overstretched it. I think they tried to give Chad as much time as possible to show if he's capable. You can tell throughout Chad Gable struggles. You can see that Chad Gable really does struggle in this match, and that's entirely because he's been overworked. He's not 100% fit. He shouldn't have been in the ring. And it was very much obvious throughout the entire contest. His shoulder kept giving way on him. You can tell that he's not fully up here either. He did a lot. And fair play to someone who does that level of work. Like, no doubt about it, do I refute that someone's done horrible when they do that amount of work. But is it necessary? Not when you're not fully fit. When you're injured, it's a big ask. Crystal Meth Rollins.
Ooh, yeah, the Macho Man, Slim Jim, Crystal Meth. Red Bull gives you wings, and the Macho Man drinks energy for all your time.
I want to hear myself say that. I'm listening to this bit back just for a second. Sound like a FUD.
Follow the white rabbit down the yellow brick road. Ooh, yeah. Fuck Hulk Hogan.
I do support all of them. Like, I do watch and support these, especially TNA, more than anyone. New Japan, Rev Pro because it's close to home. Women of Wrestling, they're not so bad. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, I do. Major League Wrestling, nope, because they brought in Eric Bischoff. That's an automatic red flag. NWA are bringing in good young talent, so I'm okay with NWA. CMLL, I do. WSW, UWN, WWN Live, and all that, I don't particularly see a lot of them, so I can't. But the rest of them, I do. Juniper June or Jiraiya June. I'm not even going to watch. It's going to be crap. To be fair, that was absolutely fucking hilarious. He's like, yeah, I got it out. It's not gonna hurt you. Oh, it was so good. So good. You shouldn't. Anyway, back to this. So Chad Gable does get the ankle lock in the closing stages of the match. We get a counter from Styles. He goes for the calf killer. I'm not going to call it its WWE camming name. I'm going to call it its real name, the calf killer. Instead of that, he rolls through. Chad Gable counters it a little bit, but then Styles uses his momentum, hits a Styles Clash for the win. It's not a bad match at all. The problem is, this would have been a lot better if one, Chad Gable wasn't injured, and two, WWE just lets them work. It would have been 100 times better, because these are two good talents if you let them just work. Instead of going, we want you to be really, really extra slow and work this way. No. You can let your development talent work slow, but not established greats. Well, an established great and Chad Gable. There hasn't been a lot of victories recently for AJ, so AJ to get this one is still important, but we know that AJ's not going to really do anything. He's not in the Money in the Bank tournament, so what more is he going to get? I don't know. But I know that Discovery's getting a lot. That's as much as I know. Yeah, there it is. Yes, this. I did remember reading. I did see an article about it, but I didn't read the full thing. But this is true. So you've got Warner Bros. Discovery, the parent company. I did read this earlier on, to be fair. But it's going to be two publicly traded companies. And to be fair, it's a smart way to manage their debt because they're in $43 billion worth of debt. Well, not that amount of money, but there's a big load of debt following their merger, so there's a lot they need to balance out. So you've got Warner Bros. Discovery Streaming and Studios, and then you've got Warner Bros. Discovery Global Networks, which are actually really good. And if you want each one, what they'll contain, let me know and I'll tell you. And we're going to get more Comcast, which is actually a real bonus. If anyone wants to read the article, I'll drop it in the chat. It's actually a really interesting read. I do recommend reading it if you get a chance. And it is from a reputable source, which is Axios. Axios are very reliable when it comes to live entertainment and television and streaming. They're really good for that, so I recommend reading them. Very, very, very good read. So Styles got the win, Gable lost. So much for doing what El Grande Americano did, or yourself when you have your mask on, you dual split personality mindfuck. So I mentioned there about how slow the match was and how it's only just to protect Chad Gable, but when he's not injured, they're still making him work slow. That's not even my biggest critique of this match. My biggest critique is the Creeds are being so incredibly underutilized that it's actually becoming very depressing. Like, I actually feel sorry for the Creeds. They're not getting used at all, and I feel like they're just slipping down. I suspected WWE might split American Made. And they might just keep Ivy Nile on her own. Or they'll keep her with Chad Gable and the Creeds will just go back to just being on their own. I can just see something like that happening. I just don't think they're fully invested in this group anymore. If you look at it. I don't think that's all their fault. I just think the reality is they're going to do that, and it would be quite funny if that group splits quicker than the Judgment Day, which has already lasted far too long anyway. We get a backstage segment. A short-lived one. Not to sound funny, because the two people in the segment are absolutely short. But obviously Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan have a backstage segment. Again, I wasn't saying short to take the mick out of them because they're tiny. But it was a short-lived segment. This is about Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. Roxanne is trying to convince Liv to work together in this match. Fatal 4-way, winner will proceed to Night of Champions for the semi-finals of the Queen of the Ring. Semi-finals for the Queen of the Ring tournament. In the match you have Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, Kairi Sane and Rhea Ripley. I tweeted after this match, aha, cue the meltdown. And the reason why is because pretty much all the main WWE crazy fan accounts were tweeting before the match, Liv Morgan wins or fuck this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were going full bitch mode. And I'm like, she is so not going to win this. She might be towards the end of the match, like, key to this the decision, but there's no way that Liv Morgan's going to win. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, just because it's all bad right now when it comes to politics. Especially right now when you've got people that are hijacking rallies and graduations and all that shit over there over international events. I feel like if WWE does that, they might... I think it's good from a heat perspective. I do like it. I feel like WWE might go a stretch too far. And if there's one thing that WWE has done before and it backfired, it's they've leaned into politics and it's hurt the product. If you look at WrestleMania 7, that is a prime example. You look at Muhammad Hassan, like, they've went into far politics and how they handle shit, and they've really stretched the line. I think, I like the suggestions, by the way. I really do. I think how they do it is very, very tricky. Because there's towing a line, and then there's making a good use of it. I actually think what you could do you don't make them wear white shirts, black trousers and black shoes all of a sudden. But what if you put the creeds into black wrestling gear, like black singlets, Chad Gable's in a... or put Chad Gable in a black singlet, put the creeds in a white singlet, and to go against all things comedy, yeah, Nabil, you're on my level here. What if American Made became American censorship? Or Right to America? Think about that. Right to America. Anything that's not American, shut down. You absolutely fucking belittle it. You tear it layer to layer. Like, it actually fits in right now to Chad Gable and his hatred for luchadors and lucha libre. Let's actually find some means to it. And I actually think there's already a good way to bridge it. No, you don't have to... You don't have to lean into who's who. You're just American. There's no left, there's no right into this. It's... You're not serving either side. You're purely just taking the means. I've just gave you one, like, another great creative idea. I gave you one a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and now I've just gave you this one. Clearly, I should be in their writing team. I might actually make their product enjoyable. Anyone on either side is censored, though. You can censor the right, you can censor the left. That's the point. That's the point. You can't just be American in that society. So you make it the issue. You really fucking present it in a way that's brilliant. And there's lots of resources you can reverse. So you could base it off Jack Swagger and Dutch Mantel when he was Zeb Coulter from their Real American run in the early 2010s, early to mid 2010s. You can reverse LAX, like the proper version, Homicide and Hernandez. You can reverse that. You could reverse the LWO by having Right to America. I guarantee you that would draw money. That would draw money. I'm confident of that. And you know what the best part is? Because they're Right to America, they would still be the heels in their own country. That's how I would make it work. They're not like a reverse Bret Hart where they're hated in America, loved in Canada, or loved in America, hated across the globe. They're just hated everywhere. American made at the moment are they're not really against anything. Chad Gable is just right now booked to hate luchadors in Lucha Libre. I'll make it black and white. I think they could get over as heels though, Zodiac. I think you can get over it by what I'm saying at the very end. So you can still target the American audience. Because if the American audience aren't fully behind you, so they attack the American audience. And it would be so easy. Because you look at specific states or cities across America, they could rip them to shreds. Like, Alabama would be the easiest one to rip into. Or places like Kentucky, or Louisiana, or New Orleans. Just say that place is just a... Just tear into New Orleans, say that it's a glutton for punishment state. You could say that Wyoming is completely pointless. Right out of my country. Tear into them. You could generate so much heat. It might actually work. I think it would work. Mississippi, maybe. I think the hardest ones is New York, Texas, and Florida. I think they might be the three difficult ones. Atlanta as well in Georgia, I'm not sure. I think there's some good ones there that you can generate real heat with. Bingo. California, though, that's a good one. Philadelphia, they can tear into them for just being extreme wrestling degenerates. California's that fucked that they could use that to fuck them up and get heat. Is California the place where they had the fires recently? Because I've got an idea that might work. Alabama, they can just talk about like how their love for religion is what destroys their lives. They can destroy that. So here's the thing, this is what I'm getting at. You could have Chad Gable come out with the creeds and basically say that the reason that the fires happened in LA is the American people chose not to defend. Oh, I know California's a state, yeah. You could say that the reason that California is always on fire is you blame LA. You blame the people that live in the state, like LA, like California, like, and you say it could be a whole lot better if the people just gave a shit about their state. You could tear into them for that. Obviously, you don't need to mock the dead, but you can say the fires happen because you let it happen. Think of the fucking boos they would get inside a stadium or an arena if they did that. I think you would get incredible amount of heat. That took me 5 minutes to think. How can WWE not do that shit? No, we haven't. We're talking about saving the creeds. We're talking about saving wrestling. Are you even listening to the show? And we're just about to talk about the women's match. Have some patience. So I said on the Money in the Bank review show before my mic went out, and then we ended up having like one of the funniest episodes ever. Again, that was funny. Thank you, James, and thank you, Ailey, for being on camera as well as Josh. But everyone in the chat, you guys made that show as well. It was hilarious. I said that for me, you what now? You left to watch Sourface versus Cokehead? That's a fine, sir. You're getting fined. I said that the women outperformed the men at Money in the Bank, but it wasn't particularly hard. Tonight, the women again outperformed the men, and it wasn't even difficult. Except for one segment that was actually two segments that were absolutely dreadful. The women certainly do try. They do. Again, back-to-back events, Roxanne Perez has stood out with ease. That woman really was held on NXT for far too long. When you need a spark, when you need something on your main shows, and you left her on your development brand for so long, you are stupid. Perennially stupid. And it's a shame because when you look at it, she's got so much to her that stands out. Really good ring psychology, good timing. She's not just a one-hit wonder. Absolute madness. You come on here to Reese's show and don't even have the class to introduce yourself? What is your name? Well, my name is... it doesn't matter. The reason for that is it allows to protect them. There are some women that are actually swift and smooth in the ring. Liv Morgan definitely is not swift. She is slower than a shit getting put in the bog by a pensioner. Really horrible.
I'll be right back, dear. I'm just going to the loo.
45 minutes later. I'm just reading the daily pages of the newspaper. There we go. Thank you. That's Liv Morgan. She moves like a pensioner. Finn Balor smile in the background. That was funny. We're going to come onto that as well because we have to critique that shit too. Roxanne Perez is the highlight of this entire match.
Oh, God.
Well, I got one line just for you. A king has a slave, but a mic has a purpose. You dropped your crown. And yet, this man will hold you down.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in
Reece Russell.
And that is a fact of life. See, you've got some lines, but I've got some too. Don't worry, I'm not going to do a Jey Uso and snort some lines. I'm just going to have a really nice bit of chewing gum. No. Overrated. I've got more creative ability in my left hand than he's got in his entire body. Throughout the match, obviously, we do see the dominant style of Rhea Ripley. She does hit the riptide, sorry, on Morgan. But Chuck Rodriguez does get involved, stops the count. Fucking hell, Zodiac. I mean, she is slow through water, and she's slow on dry land. I don't think she works out. Because if she did, she would be working on her legs, because then she can improve on her speed. She is so damn slow. Like, she's really slow. But yes, so Chuck Rodriguez does stop Morgan from losing. What doesn't stop, however, is Roxanne Perez with an incredible pin cover on Kairi Sane for the win. Lovely little pin, and even funnier is the anger that is produced from Liv Morgan. Short arse can't hold it. He's used to it. Coming to the arena at this time, she is about 5'2". She's boring. She's past it. She's ginger. She is the Intercontinental Champion. It is Becky Hogan. And I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. This segment was dreadful. Start to finish, I'm sorry. This segment was start to finish. It was awful. I can't enjoy this crap. Lyra Valkyria looked like she was going to piss herself, figuratively. No. We get the return of Bayley, which we kind of expected to happen at some point. She comes out after Lyra Valkyria and Becky are close to each other, but not so much in the ring stand across. Becky gets beaten up by Bayley in her new purple hair. Again, and then obviously Becky, like a classic heel does, she runs to the crowd. It's nice to see Bayley, but what do we get out of this? Nothing. Like, is Bayley gonna win the IC title from Becky now? Like, I kind of expect that at Night of Champions, but is that what we want? No. Is it going to be the rubber match? Maybe between Becky and Lyra over who's the worst sounding chipmunk on Raw? Maybe. I just cannot for the life of me take either of them seriously. And it's not to dismiss in any shape or form. It's just I can't take them seriously. And no matter what they do, I don't want to watch them. Like, I should have just muted this. I'm annoyed that I didn't. I should have muted this segment, but I didn't. I should have just had subtitles. But I'm not watching this to do anything. I don't like it at all. It's really bad. Yeah, perhaps you can put Becky and Rollins together, but it's too little too late now. But we are where we are. And I personally hate it, folks. I hate it. That's not the shit that I want us to see. I want us to get more out of this. I feel like we're not getting that. Yeah, I think the crowd would really react to it. I think you might get the odd person in the crowd who will probably ask for a bit more, because you know there's always a little creepy one in the crowd. And that's before their deodorant expires. What we see is what we get, but I'm not sure. Yeah, well, she doesn't still have it. She's lost it. Sorry. I mean, I've already saved the creative for American Made, but they won't hire me. It's probably because I've got a brain and they won't like it. But I like your idea, but the thing is though is that enough? Can we get more out of it? I think we could. They're just not... They're not expressive enough. If only, Abu. If only. I just don't like the scrub. And I don't like Lyra Valkyria. She's awesome.
Can't handle the truth.
They fucking can't handle it. The reality has got them by the balls. At least I would kick them off. Now, hop in the guardrail. She certainly is. We have Wade loves LA Knight's balls, Barrett, and Michael Boredom Chode on commentary talking, and then out comes Ron Killings in a black hoodie, just like he did at Creatively Bankrupt in the Bank. Speaking to the fans for a good 5 minutes or so, which is a reflection. Comedy is gone. It's been chopped, scissored, eviscerated from him. This is no longer to him 2025. This is 2002 reincarnated. This is him going back to being what he was back then. This is where I'm eager to see what he does. I mean, the thing is though, it's not an insult because of someone's age, but he is 53. So they could have done this change, say, I don't know, 4 years ago. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if that. They held it for too long. Now, the words are intriguing. I agree, John. I agree. You can't do much with a 53-year-old. If you're going to have him serious, then how do you use him? How long do you keep him on screen for? What matches is he going to have? Is he going to have a lot of matches? It's hard to tell. I actually like that we're getting the version that was top tier in TNA, because he was incredible. And he still had, even that serious period, he still had comedy with him. That was the blend. Now you're taking away all the comedy and it's just all serious, when it should be, this new version should be at least 75% serious, 25% comedy. But the comedy, like I said earlier on, the comedy has purpose. I'm eager to see what they do. I'm not fully sure it's going to work. But we'll see. And yes, 5 or 6 years too late, I agree. I'm not sure they know what they want with him. I don't often agree with Michael Chode, because again, the guy's a terrible commentator. But he did say one thing that actually is what will show. He said, we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. Yes, that's true, because the next few weeks will determine just what his position is. And if I'm being honest, I don't even think they know. And I think they will take their time. They'll overly slow it down. And it'll really hurt. Because at the end of the day, he's only going back to being serious mode because his head got delusionally caved in that badly that he's forgot that he's a 53-year-old man, and he is not seen as he wasn't seen as #1 fan as a child, because it's not physically possible, because he's like, what, he's several years older than him. It's hard to see. What's up, Larkbark? Liv Morgan is fucking slow. There's a small percentage of people that wanted Raw, and wrestling already caters to the work rate demographic, even though they're the minority. Everybody in itself is part of the demographic. I just think, are you going to get everything in one? Or are you still going to mug and not let it shine all elements? Because this is the chance for them to really just allow every element to work out. We mentioned it earlier on. Kurt Angle's the perfect example of that. Yes, he is. His promo is strong. His promo was strong. Too bad it's not really strong enough. You thought the Cena Punk segment was pretty damn good? Why? Only 50% of that segment you could realistically say stands out. They take away two big characters like Carlito and Truth and not add anyone replacement. They need a better balance. I agree to take away one big character. Otis has been nothing his entire career. I'm sorry, Otis is nothing. He was a waste anyway. He should have been released a long ass time ago. He should have been released during COVID. I'm not kidding. I would have terminated his ass during COVID. No sympathy for him. I generally do not like him at all. Absolute clown. He is. I preferred his tag team partner that he had. Can't remember his fucking name though. That says how long it's been. But I could never take... I genuinely never liked Otis. Horrible as fuck. They could have used him in the kitchens making dinner. Selling hot dogs. He would do alright with that. He could be Hot Dog Otis. Cena. How can you think Cena's been consistently good? Cena's been dreadful. The Punk side, at least Punk was actually trying to do something original for a change. He hasn't been original in a long time. He hasn't been particularly great recently. At all. Whereas Cena has actually flopped tremendously. Which is something that you actually agreed to the other night. So how can you think he's been consistently good when you said the heel turn failed and he's been a flop? That doesn't make... You can't be consistently good if you've been a flop. And you failed at your heel turn. That doesn't make sense. No, I agree in that sense though. He will still be generic. It's just that he's never to me really been worthy of note. I think they chose the wrong person. I think they didn't really know what they were going to do anyway. Once you make certain people too funny... Now this is the thing, when you make them too funny, you don't see the laughter anymore. They really did with him. Which is painful. Agreed. To close his line, of course, he chops off his dreadlocks. Which... Okay, people are actually... The clown that no one laughs at, exactly. Krusty the Clown. He chops off his dreadlocks and people were literally arguing. I'm not even kidding. People on social media were arguing about Ron Killing, saying that his release was not a work. They're actually arguing with him and his son. These people are so damn brain-warped and brainwashed. Which is absolutely scary. Hey, hey, hey. The biggest heel turn since Austin. He's done nothing good this entire run. Sorry. It's not even that big a heel turn. It's not even that big a good... It's not even good run of form for him. I'm sorry, but... He's the worst world champion. Active. He's the worst world champion. He's one of the worst promos right now. None of his promos have good context. And his work isn't actually translating to it either. Sorry. I would rather listen to I'm not even kidding when I say this. I would rather... Yeah, John has. Yeah. It's been a flop since day one. I said it was going to be a flop. The minute it happened, I was like, this will never succeed. I would honestly rather listen to John Laurinaitis talk than John Cena right now. And John Laurinaitis, fuck him as well. Horrible human being. I would rather listen to him going, people power. I would rather listen to Tony Chimmel than him. I would rather have Tony Chimmel talk for 5 minutes straight than John Cena. Yep, Steve Austin is the... He is the... Well, to be fair, if you birthed the boom of the Attitude Era, I would... He's part of it. Like, he certainly is. He gave it the term, the Attitude Era, in terms of his identity, but it stemmed long before him. He was the second domino. If you look at the dominoes falling, for me, he's the second domino to fall. But he's still one of the biggest dominoes. His heel run had some good stuff. It did. The problem is, no one wanted it. And they tried. They tried. It didn't work. The best part of his heel run, though, I mean, like, the true best part of his work, though, was in between SummerSlam and Unforgiven. SummerSlam, Unforgiven, honestly, that part especially was incredible stuff. Although I did like his heel promo on The Undertaker when he mocked the kayfabe car crash that that Sarah had when he said like her face is all mangled and all that. That was really good. No, they won't. Notice how all the real fans are actually saying this is dreadful and it's doing him nothing, but there's always people that are just trying to cope. Oh. The best world champion in the world right now, Hiroki Goto, has said he wants either Ospreay, Okada or Shibata or Forbidden Door after he defends against Shingo Takagi this weekend. That is fucking brilliant. Austin, you can give your soul to the Lord, but your ass belongs to me. Great promo. That is another good point. He did birth the hijacking fan. That is true. Yeah, the fans have been pathetic. Just look at the fans with Seth Rollins. If there's further evidence how shit the actual attending fans are, it's Seth Rollins and John Cena. You have never experienced hard times. Only 6 more months and a handful of dates left. Yeah, 18 more dates now. Thank fuck. I can't wait for him to go. Can't wait for him to fuck off once and for all. Yep. Just like the Dudleys ruined wrestling in 1996, 97, the What chant ruined wrestling for my generation, next generation to come, and so forth. The yeet chant will forever ruin the next generation because those fans are clowns. It's a reality spectrum that doesn't stand out. They are all painful. It has been awful because it's done nothing of remote for business. It's done nothing. Exactly, the title is just a prop. Much better world champion, much better title. That right there is the best world champion in wrestling. Okay. Following his run-in from the crowd promo, the men's King of the Ring tournament is underway. Of course, we have to have Liv Morgan speak first, because she's obviously unhappy that she didn't win. Not really. You're right about not showing it, but you're wrong on the rest. I agree. Yep. So Liv Morgan obviously is in the clubhouse, where the even smaller Roxanne Perez is celebrating her victory. Liv Morgan looks like she's about to cry or eat a cheeseburger, or both. And then she just walks off in a huff. Dominic Mysterio, obviously, we can see that he's starting to get swayed. This is another... I'm starting to get really annoyed with his angle. It's really crap. That's quite the description, Glenn. If they're moving Dominic Mysterio on from Liv Morgan to Roxanne Perez, this is the worst fucking creative of all time. It's the worst creative ever. Like, simple. Can't take it seriously. We get the likes of Sami Zayn, Penta, Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio in the ring for the Fatal 4-Way. Braun Breaker is just... Exactly. Is in the clubhouse. That's all it is now. If you honestly put masks on them and some ears, you've got the Mickey Mouse clubhouse right there. Chuck Palumbo Rodriguez. She's definitely Goofy. Liv Morgan is definitely Donald Duck. Finn Balor's got to be Mickey Mouse. Braun Simmons. Damn! They're all a bunch of goofy fucks, I suppose. That faction needs to die. Braun Breaker's speed and power obviously is a reflection of this match. Really heavy. How he can keep that speed and that momentum says a lot. Trust me, Maria, when Rey Mysterio said WWE helped legitimize Lucha Libre, I got so angry. Because that is him being jobbed out. Yeah. Rey Mysterio has just been bitched for the rest of his life. If you're a Rey Mysterio fan, put a hand in the chat. Because I've got something to say to you guys right here, right now. If you're a Rey Mysterio fan, do this. I certainly remember. I loved his pronunciations of people. There's one hand. I'm going to wait to see if anyone else puts any more in. There's two. Three. He's not my favorite mass wrestler of all time, but mind you, my favorite mass wrestler hasn't been seen in fucking WWE for years, so not really much I can say. Where is it? I will still put in the chat. Because I am a Mysterio fan as well. He's not my all-time favourite, but he's in there. Simply put, Rey Mysterio, you went from legendary status to death row. Rey Mysterio officially got shafted at the weekend. It's horrible. It's not something you want to see. It's not something you want to accept. It's not something you want to listen to. It's not something you want to witness. And yet, look what they bloody did to that. Imagine... Now, I get it. He is a WWE employee, right? But even he knows that's a load of shit. Of all people... Now, if you gave it to someone like... Say it was Joaquin Wilde. No, he didn't get released. Batista was hilarious. To be fair, I thought it was funny when he came up, when he was dressed like Hobbs. What I'm going to say is, like, he didn't get released, but what I'm saying is he's effectively been reduced to nothing. Say that was Joaquin Wilde that said WWE has legitimised Lucha Libre. No one's realistically going to care. Even though it's still a bullshit statement, nobody's really going to care. But you put it to somebody who legitimised Lucha Libre in Japan, in ECW, in WCW, and in WWE, then the independent scene, then back to Mexico, then back to WWE. Are you seriously gonna have a legend of the business stand there and degrade himself? Remember, Rey Mysterio is not Goldberg. He's not gonna go and end someone's career with a kick. He transcended wrestling. And I don't often use that word. I don't often use that word about someone in the business. Fucking told a lie at Worlds Collide. That's what they did. Are you not listening? No, my favourite masked wrestler was not Mil Mascaras. But I did like Mil Mascaras. But he's not my favourite masked wrestler. Doesn't even come close. If it was someone like Joaquin Wilde saying WWE legitimised Lucha Libre, then not many people would go insane on it. Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio? You're worth nothing now. Yep, Maria got it. My favourite masked wrestler of all time is Jushin Thunder Liger. always. He said that WWE has legitimized Lucha Libre for the world, which was absolute horseshit. Great Muta's my favourite, like, well, he's up there with Sting for my painted wrestler. It's too bad they're talking nonsense smooth, because if Lucha Libre wasn't legitimized, then how does Arena Mexico sell out every single event? And Lucha Libre's been talked about since 1930s. So how is it not legitimized? It's a bullshit excuse. Yeah, Big Van Vader counts as a mass wrestler. He's in my top 5. He's in my top 5. I think the way you do that and you say that, it just... There's some things that just really suck balls. Mankind is great, but he's sadly not in my top 5. Even though I love the iteration of Mankind and the character development, it's not my favourite. He's not in my top 5. He is sixth though. I will tell you now, he is sixth on the list. Chainsaw Charlie, nah. Funny one bit, no. Where were we? No, I was always Cactus Jack. Maybe Smooth. I just feel like they didn't need to do it. I feel like they could have just went around it differently. I feel like that was just the wrong choice of words. Ow! Have mercy. But nah, for me it was always Cactus Jack. It's just something about it, but I did love, obviously, Mankind. Dude love, I didn't really mind at all. I liked the gimmick, it was crafty. It was funny. But I've always just preferred Cactus Jack. Maniacal, twisted, sinister, and no fear. I know Mankind was the gimmick that won him 3 world titles, but he should have won a world championship with the Cactus Jack gimmick. Back to this match. So Braun Breaker, of course, does his absolute maniacal run round the ring spear. That is in my top 5, Abel, yes. Oh, they always do. They so do. And it's so damn stupid. Braun Breaker does his run round the ring, huge, powerful spear. Again, that spear is insane. The Mexican Destroyer. Again, I hate the fact it's called that. It's just the Destroyer or the Canadian Destroyer. I'm sick of that bullshit. But it's the inside out spear. Like, that's still the highlight, the spot. You know what I mean? It's always the highlight. Always a highlight. The match would end, of course, in the best way, with trying a roll up, failed, haluva kick, and then Sammy the Politician has progressed to King of the Rings semi-final at Night of Champions. Juan, no idea what the fuck you're saying, but hello. What was the point in having Paul Heyman there? To promote Twinkies, sponsored by male pattern baldness. Now for the part that no one was waiting for. Sorry everybody, but we have to do this. Up next is arguably the worst promo segment of the show. The returning Nikki Bella. And she's already here to do what I said she was going to do. She's going to get 2 title matches. And she's already working her way to the first already. Nikki Bella comes back, glazes everybody. Talks a whole load of nonsense. Looks crap. Sounds crap. And gave us no emotion. Liv Morgan, on the other hand, comes out angry, venting frustration, jealous. Says a lot that there's more emotion out of Liv Morgan for this one promo, and I still can't take Liv Morgan seriously. But there was more emotion and interest from her than there was out of that donkey, Nikki Bella. I believe... Well, they certainly gave her a specific word, put it that way. No worries, James. Thanks, my man. I will see you tomorrow, sir. Because you know we're back tomorrow again. I believe she got called a slut. I think that, I can't remember. That was a long, long time ago. I'm sorry, but this segment was dreadful, ladies and gentlemen. I can't take it seriously. I'm just going to say, fuck the 2 of them. And not the right way. And we move on. The reality show diva got the oblivion. She was put on her head and on her ass, and that was it. Job done. Main event, well... Yeah, she's a crack whore. Main event, we have the World Championship up for grabs, or as Zodiac correctly calls it, the Mid-Card World Championship. You can look, but you can't act. I like that. Thanks, Abo. I'll see you tomorrow, dude. I actually muted the TV because I hate this theme song. So I actually physically muted it. Well, I muted my phone. I had it on my phone, but I muted it. Long story short, Jey Uso gets ripped apart. There were so many sleeper holds in this match that I feel like I was being put to sleep. I don't think they know where they're going, but they've realised that Jey Uso was not doing anything as a world champion. He was not drawing interest. He was not making the product any better. He was a detriment to the system. So they... quote unquote, they put his title reign to sleep. This match, I'm sorry, I didn't like it. I don't get inspired by them. I don't get inspired by a Jey Uso spear. Gunther spear looked like he wanted to cuddle him to death. Overuse of the sleeper hold takes away the beauty of a sleeper. It's just not good, and I hate the fact that they. I don't think Triple H has realised yet that his long-term bookings or his long-term storyline commitment is hurting his company and his product. He needs to think more like it's not just about the long term, but the short term, and the long term is causing problems. It's time to reflect or quit. I'm going to go to the bathroom and take a big shit. Don't forget to wipe your ass. Jesus Christ. That's a good line. That's a good line. It's just not strong. But hey, if CM Punk proves he's a multi-millionaire hypocrite, Cena's still dreadful. I think it is, but I don't know how they're going to do it. If Goldberg versus Gunther's for the world title in his retirement match, I swear to God, that'll be pathetic. I'm hoping it's Ilya Dragunov, but I don't know. I think he's the mystery opponent for the King of the Ring tournament. I'm hoping it's him. I don't think there's anyone else that you can generally say is a surprise. Like, because unless it's Hikuleo, but he's not been seen in over a year. So who is it going to be? I don't know. Slowberg, Blowberg, Crowberg, Stromberg. I don't know. All in all, is it a good show? Is it a great show? The answer is no. The weekly Steelchair is a better, more consistent show. But I want him to take shit seriously. And here's the funny thing. Jey Uso at 51 days as world champion, his title reign ended clean in the ring. No shenanigans, a clean win. That says a lot to you and me, doesn't it? Certainly does for me. Holberg. Kroberg. You can do better than that, come on. It doesn't even actually do anything. You can do better than that, come on. What have you got for me? Oh, over the edge false count anywhere. That match was good. To think Dude Love inspired Tanahashi with the teeth. Oh, he kept making up as he went. It was actually fucking brilliant. Nah. Good heat, exactly. It was really good. That's so bloody sore. Ow. This was one of Steve Austin's better title defense as well through his entire 6 reigns as champion. It's up there in one of my personal favourites. If you look at his 6 reigns as champion, it's in my top 5 title matches that he has. It's really good. It's really good. I think we're at the situation now where Raw is not surviving because of the 3 hours. It's actually so bad. Oh shit, let's go Jamiroquai. Please tell me you're joking. You're not selling the sleeper hold from your ribs. Despite the fact that breathing is obviously affected by the ribs, you're selling the sleeper hold by the lack of motion in your hands. And the fact that you're saying they got a sleeper hold over, his sleeper hold has been over since his indie days. Are you insane? Are you nuts? It's a reflection they haven't got a fucking clue. Again. Call the cops, call the slumlords. I'm just glad his reign of terror is over. That's a reign of terror, an unwanted terror, a reign of torture. Reign of Error, that's another one. I mean, to be fair, he is that sensitive. He's always on the coke. It's what he always does with the sleeper hold. He's always punching people. It's almost like you think this is new. Oh, hi fella, see for your match today. I just want you to add some punches to the sleeper hold. Alright, I've been doing that ever since, you know, but I'll do it this way. Yeah, I'll do it that way. I'll blow your brains out. Multiple accents, multiple phrases, multiple ways. I'm just that good. I'm just brilliant.
Goes, ooh yeah, fuck Jey Uso.
If he dies, he dies. I'll fight the real world champion. He does. Oh. I've had the real world champion. I've had your father. No.
Say his name and
Wrong video. I mean, I rate that. And this. I've got a better idea. I think we should push him off this. I reckon we should take him up to the peak of Mount Everest and chuck him off. After all, he likes the Uso splash. Maybe he'll learn if he can fly or not. Up you go. He shoots, he scores. Bang! Kick him off the side. He'll probably pass Darby on the way down. He probably would, to be fair.
Ooh yeah. Well, the Macho Man says fuck Jey Uso.
I cannot get over that impression. Macho Man with the Dr. Evil on the side. Which is that he's gained an extra £100. He's still a wobbly old fucker and he's as relevant to wrestling as no one. What's Chubby Ray said now? mean, to be fair, at least you would hear the echo across the clouds. He needs to get up there and give Darby some of his coke so Darby can get down and come back to TV. I mean, I'm surprised Darby didn't shoot down Everest on his skateboard. I still do not know how I can keep doing that impression. It's actually crazy. But we will now do what we like to do. Oh, Darby might end up doing an Iron Sheik. I mean, to be fair, that's true. They didn't do a lot of kickouts, but the sleeper's been over for a long time, so it's ridiculous. Yep, Okada Omega contract signing for All In is tomorrow. That's true. I think that'll main event the 2 hours of the Dynamite Collision. Sorry, the 2 hours of the Dynamite Blockbuster. I think that'll main event those 2 hours. I mean, that's just my thoughts, of course. But now you may, ladies and gentlemen. I think so. Unless the contract sign opens the show, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I wouldn't mind that. This is questions, yeah, just for the very end. You love the psychology. Okay. I mean, if you like it, that's what counts, but I thought it was awful. So you guys task the questions, me to give you the answer, or try to give you an answer. In fact, you know what? 15 minutes isn't actually fair. Hold on. Let's give you a proper good run time. There we go. For DC it's Batman, for Marvel it's Spider-Man. For DC villains it's Joker. For the villains on Marvel side it's the Green Goblin. I've got many a favourite for both sides, but they're my number one hero and villain from both respective organisations. I'll give you half an hour instead. I think that's more appropriate. One favourite entrance of all time. The Undertaker at WrestleMania 14. Yeah, WrestleMania 14, The Undertaker. I've always liked that entrance. That entrance for me was always perfect. But that night especially, it was top tier. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Okay. AJ Styles would be my world champion. Braun Breaker would be my WWE champion. Penta would be my Intercontinental champion. US champion, I would have Montez Ford. Tag champions, I would unify both belts and give them to the Machine Guns. Women's champion, I'm giving it to Chelsea Green. World champion, Stephanie Vacour. Women's Intercontinental champion, Chelsea Green, because she can have double champion. I'm only kidding. I would say Intercontinental champion, Io Sky. US Women's champion, I would give it to Julia. That's what I would do. Women's tag team champions don't care because WWE don't use women's tag teams properly anyway, so those belts mean fuck all. Drew McIntyre, I would have him just win either or with a Money in the Bank, done properly, and no screw up finish. I'd probably have him, like, I don't know, take the, maybe go for the WWE title against Braun Breaker, I don't know. But AJ I would give the world title to. I think Lucha Underground doesn't get enough credit it deserves. Because Lucha Underground really showed all facets of Lucha Libre and an extreme style of wrestling and good mat wrestling that you get from a North American style that's not statistically in Mexico. But is it better than AEW? No. But if you had to rank where I would have Lucha Underground compared to most promotions currently, it's in my top 5. Or it would be in my top 5. Cross would be my heavyweight champion, Chelsea's my world champion. Yeah. Cross, I don't know what I would do with him, but I would certainly make sure he ain't a 30-second segment. What's next for Jay and Lyra? Hopefully catering where they belong. Lyra will probably Lyra will probably turn heel on Bailey at some point. As for Jay, he'll probably get a rematch of Gunther, lose, and then go back to tag team with his brother. How can you disagree? How can you disagree? Just because those companies exist doesn't mean WWE wasn't a monopoly. WWE has always been a monopoly. Or do I have to give you a history lesson? Shawn Michaels versus brother, or The Rock versus brother. For the comedic selling to piss him off, Shawn Michaels, but the better match is the WrestleMania 18 match. Because that match was better than realistically it should have been. Or what it was. That match, that match was actually great. I think Fletcher will win the next one. Whenever it happens. Did you see the new Muppet boxing game and what's your opinion? It was shown at Summer Games. It's called Felt That Boxing. I don't think I've seen that, sorry. Hold on. Felt That Boxing? I've never heard that. Oh, that. It reminds me of Facebreaker. I know. Yeah, but you're still... Even so, there were still places. The reality of it is... You can't say that... You can't disagree that WWE was a monopoly. It wasn't a monopoly because... They are. Look what they did in the 80s. Look what they did in the 90s. Look what they did in the early 2000s. And look at what they've done now. You just need to live... Like... They go through a period where they just do it. Oh, who wins between Will and Swerve? This time... I'll be surprised if Swerve goes 2-0. I think Will might get screwed. I'm gonna go Swerve. The thing is, I get where you're coming from, but WWE has always been a monopoly. And it did a lot of harm. In fact, I'll go one further. It did more harm than good. That could raise a lot of questions if the Bucks cost Swerve. Because then that'll add more to Will losing his temper at Double or Nothing against Hangman. It'll add more of the jealous side of it as well, and the anger that he didn't get what he wanted. But it also adds to Swerve's internal downfall. Because then who do you trust around you? That's actually a very compelling point. That's a good way. You might swerve me. What WWE match type should return? The casket match. But then again, somebody will probably cry and say, oh no, they've put something in a casket. If it was up to me, it'd be the casket match, the buried alive match, and the 3 stages of hell. That's a good way to put it, Zodiac. Yes, they were. They almost went out of business buying people. A monopoly is outright buying your competition. Outright buying your competition is what monopoly is. Monopoly is formulating a conglomeration of multiple businesses into one. You want to look at how bad Vince was when it came to money management in the late 90s? Look how much money he was given ECW when he to stay quiet. No. I wouldn't. But I wouldn't discredit anybody if anyone else did, to be fair. But for me, nah. I'll tell you one thing though, I would rather just have a good conversation about the wrestling dynamic that she has. But that's about it. And just ask her so much shit about what she actually sees in her style and her how she gets over the way she does. I think she uses her appeal probably better than most. She ain't for me. Never has been. Soz lads. There is a few other people on that roster that I absolutely would though, 100%. Did you like 2015 in wrestling as a whole? Not a lot. To be honest, I was enjoying... If you look at 2015, what I enjoyed the most, it's New Japan, Lucha Underground, well, in a like Mexican style, and then the odd bits of TNA. There's not a lot I would enjoy. But she's not. She, like, say it truthfully. Like, is she a good-looking lass? Yes. Is she my type? Absolutely not. Not for me. I barely enjoyed WWE in 2015. Watching WWE in 2015 felt like a chore. And I was at a live event in 2015. That's how much of a chore it was. Nope. That franchise should have stayed dead. That franchise honestly should have stayed dead. Greatness. Because it wasn't fun. And I couldn't get interested by a vast majority of it. And plus, I had to suffer that absolute melon fucker Roman Reigns. I couldn't take it seriously. The only excitement I got from WWE was probably, like, at that time, maybe Lesnar versus Taker. I generally couldn't. It was all poor. There wasn't a lot that was good to watch in 2015. You had to watch elsewhere, other companies, and thank fuck I did. And also, yeah, it was in the butchering of Sting. That nearly turned me off that company for good. I was more ready to give up in WWE in 2015 than any other year. Seth in 2015, definitely that was him. Seth between 2014 and 2015 was his best. For Ambrose, 2016 was his best WWE year, his best year in wrestling, several years on elsewhere. That initial reaction at Double or Nothing is bigger than any other reaction he's had in WWE. The first Double or Nothing.
I'll die on that hill.
He still gets good reactions now, but the reaction he got at the first Double or Nothing 6 years ago was incredible. You Won't Die Alone. It was quality. I just like the way he came at the crowd and just bullied Omega and he bullied Jericho. That was a quality debut. You can't beat that. Would you fight Canelo Alvarez for tickets to WrestleMania for a lifetime? Nah. I knew he was John Moxley before then because I saw him in TNA. He had pink hair. And that was just hilarious. The funny thing is, I actually never expected him once to appear in AEW. I got that wrong. Does Punk win by DQ or get pinned by Cena? Oh, he's going to get low blowed and belt shotted. I'll be surprised if that is not the finish. And it's just a clean win. He might end up being forced to submit again. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at, you nugget? What's made you laugh? Oh, right. So it's about the Punk result. Oh, no, you're talking about would I fight Canelo Alvarez for tickets? Oh, right, nah. Just nah. If there's tickets for WrestleMania for a lifetime and I pay absolutely nothing, then I'd consider it, but it means I have to go there and I have to listen to Triple H talk for 5 minutes. That's part of my life that I never want to get taken away from me. What other questions have you got for me, guys? He was not so bad in 2015. It was a good year for him. Pretty much. I don't know how Triple H didn't do any drugs hanging out with a click and a nose like that. He may not have done drugs, he did do alcohol one night. The top 5 best titles for pay-per-views. Lockdown, Bound for Glory, WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom, No Mercy. How many Leprechaun movies are too much? I'm not sure. What is the greatest WWE Championship match? I'm split between two. Like, I can't choose one over the other because I really do like them both. But actually, no, three, thanks to Zodiac ruining my head. Kurt and Eddie's one of them. Brett versus Undertaker at SummerSlam 97 and Rock versus Austin in Mania 17. Those for me are equally the greatest. Top 5 worst entrance songs. Triple H's WrestleMania 18 version of the game by Drowning Pool. I'm sorry, it's crap. The System, their theme song, absolute crap. Right to Censor was a good gimmick, but the theme song, yeah, was bad. Number 4, Donald Trump's Money. And Victoria's I Ain't No Woman to Mess With. Have you ever had lunch or a gathering with known wrestlers? I've never had lunch with them, but I have met wrestlers and had conversations with them, yes. That's one of them. Same event, same show. I'm just glad you guys have never asked me like my top 5 TNA tag teams or something like that, because then you would really see how far back my memory goes. Or anything like that sort of thing. But thank fuck you haven't. Although, I've probably just gave you a suggestion. But 4.5 minutes left. X-Pac's Uncle Cracker theme, that in itself was just strange. Strange as fuck. What is your best stipulation match? Honestly, it's probably the Iron Man match. What's your thoughts on the Voodoo Kin Mafia? I liked it. The problem is it kind of took away some authenticity from Billy Gunn as Kip James, BG James, formerly Road Dogg, and also the use of Roxy Laveau. It kind of took away from them, but they still had a good presentation. Hell in a Cell Bad Blood 97 is great. If we're looking at it in general, that's up there. I would say but I'm like, there's Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle in an Iron Man match, the submission match between Austin and Brett. Pretty much any ladder match I enjoy. I love ladder matches. The King of the Mountain match, Ultimate X. There's so many to do. Favorite Daphne moment? Ooh. Winning the Cruiserweight title. Top 5 Jushin Liger rivals. Rey Mysterio, Ultimo Dragon, Samoa Joe. Flying Brian. Great Muta. No particular order, that's just my top 5. What's worse, that or to be honest, is definitely the former, because that was cringe. What moment do you think is the biggest in wrestling history? Any moment from any topic. Honestly, I think it's only between two. It's the Montreal Screwjob and it's Bash at the Beach 96. It's always those two. Top 5 Daphne matches. When she wins the Cruiserweight title. The Bound for Glory Monsters Ball tag match. Her Monsters Ball 1-on-1 match with Taylor Wilde. Even though she does lose this one heavily, her match versus Awesome Kong in the Awesome Kong Challenge when she returns to mainstream wrestling on a big show. And then the 5th one is the one that she did with that woman that she trained to beat her, because that will always stand out as just a special moment. Yeah. SummerSlam 1992, All In the second one. One night only, despite the main event, and then Clash at the Castle. What death do you think WWE affected WWE the most? Owen Hart. How would you have booked Raw this week? I would have completely rewritten the whole fucking show, put it that way. I would have rewritten the whole show, and I would have had, just to get over and done with, I would have had a Money in the Bank cash in on the world title. I would have had AJ Styles win the Intercontinental title instead. Top 5 female wrestlers from the UK. Alex Windsor, Mariah May. You're welcome, Zodiac. Danny Luna. In TNA, you guys will know her as Winter. But she was obviously Burchell's sister in WWE. And Saraya. But I'll answer on that one. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to evacuate at 3 hours 23 and a half minutes. Alright, I'll answer that one last. What is your Mount Rushmore of people you respect in pro wrestling? Okay, people that I respect. Bret Hart. Kurt Angle. AJ Styles. I'll make it 5 because it's important. Sting and The Undertaker. Mick Foley is like etched right in there. Like etched right in. Like he's like catching into it. She was a good looking woman, to be fair. Would you super kick with the leg slap square a family member of your choosing for $1 million? It's not enough. Yeah. Good question, that one, though. Good question. The likes of Mr. Perfect, Mick Foley, Owen Hart, Rick Rude, the likes of Omega, Okada, Jay White, they're still in my list of people that I respect, but that's like my top 5 of the respect element. Dutch Mantel, Taylor Wilde. There's so many. There's so many hard to choose from. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, because you know what's tomorrow. What is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen? Can you guess before we depart? We'll see if anyone gets it. The what now? It is indeed. Spot on, Zodiac. Tomorrow, classics return. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you tomorrow. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.